just lower this down here. Casey, what's up, man? Beta Razor, David, Bray, we'll chat here in a second. Martin, hello. Low Poly, King Spud, Ollie, Poodlestein, Joe with the first. Greetings. Greetings. Okay. Got the recording going. We're going to hop right into the first call, which is Bray. Let me see if I can get in here and figure this out. Oh, I need to lower the music too for myself, or else I'm going to lose my mind. Joni, what's up? How you doing? Okay, Bray, I'm gonna give you a call. Let's see if we can't tune this. Okay, I hear you. Let's see if the stream hears you. Go ahead.
Hello.
I'll just turn you up just a little bit more. How's it going?
It's going good, dude. How you doing?
Dude, it's good. It's like a Friday for me, so it's pretty. It's nice. Yeah, I don't
Actually,
have to.
no, it is for me as well.
Is it?
Yeah, I have a Monday through Thursday schedule, so I'm looking forward to the weekend as well.
Oh man. Okay. Dude, that's awesome. Okay. Well, Bray, it's good to put a voice to the man. You're in Seattle. I always forget that.
Yeah.
Let's. Do you want to start by just introducing yourself, talking about how you got into what you're doing, and then we can just kind of go from there.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So my name is Brayton. I kind of fell into this whole 3D game art world because, as I'm sure a lot of people who have ended up here have also done, played video games growing up, really liked kind of the unique storytelling elements that you can get through games. It's different than a book or a movie. It's more interactive. And then I've also come from a very technical background where I basically always lived in a house that had a computer in it. So I felt like I was pretty technically versed to be able to tackle kind of the digital art thing. And when I was in middle school, we had a job fair where there actually was some local college students that were in a game program of some kind that were showing off some of the 3D stuff that they were doing. And so that really fascinated me and definitely kind of put me on the track to figuring out how I could do that and how I could start learning those skills as well. And then so I went to school for 3 years and learned a little bit, and then I've done most of my actual growing and stuff after the fact, where I'm just trying projects and working with people and seeing what other cool stuff people are doing to see if I could also do that stuff. So,
Dude,
yeah.
Nice. Wait, where did you go to? Were you in Seattle this whole time?
Yes, I went to the Art Institute of Seattle before it closed.
Oh yeah, okay. I went to the Art Institute as well.
Oh, right on.
I think I finished in 2007.
Okay.
I think that's when. Yeah, and I learned a majority of things after that.
Yeah. It gave me the good language to be able to search for stuff.
Yes.
And I made some good connections and stuff like that. It definitely gave good foundational skills, but it's not, I don't think that's necessarily the best route if that's all you're going to get out of it. But that's another conversation. So
I guess so it says that you're a material artist at Amazon. I don't know how deeply you can dive into that, because that was intriguing to me. I know Amazon's in games, but
yeah, I can dive into it a little bit if you want. I don't do anything relating to games currently. All the stuff that I'm servicing is actually mostly internal tools for artists to be able to drag and drop materials and stuff onto 3D models, and it's mostly servicing the Amazon marketplace, so that they can do the 3D turntable renders and things like that. And we're doing a lot of different stuff. I guess my material team, basically, we're just creating a library of materials similar to Substance Source or any number of libraries where they just have materials that are ready to go.
Oh wow!
But ours is more internal.
Okay.
So,
dude, crazy. Okay, so you're a material artist, and your portfolio is pretty stacked with just time, which is really cool to see. And now, you're even staying pretty relevant. You've even got a Mid-Journey AI art section as well.
Yeah.
There's a ton of categories in here. This is the first time I've seen it where I see the categories and I'm like, oh, this actually is really useful. And I think it's really helpful because you have so much, there's categories, right? So it actually helps with all of that. I don't know how you want to go through this, because I guess since there's so much time in here.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
how do
I
you want to dissect everything?
I think what would be most useful for me for just kind of, because so basically, I guess what I want to get out of this conversation too is I feel like I've put in the time and I have skills,
Hmm.
but I have been running into walls with finding the jobs that I want to have, and so I'm trying to figure out like what's holding me back still. What's like the best thing that I could tackle to really like give myself the best selling like sales pitch
Right.
when I'm applying to these things. And I didn't mention this, but I do want to be getting into more of the environment art space rather than just strictly material art. If another
Hmm.
material art job came in more of the game space, I would totally be welcoming to that as well. But mostly, I'm searching for environment art positions right now. And so basically, I just want to know kind of like what my like core portfolio is saying about me to the people I'm applying to. So if we looked at more of the showcase tab,
Yeah.
um, which is what I'm going to be sending to people, and actually I send them my website, which is has a very similar setup. So
Right. Okay. Is that just the ArtStation website?
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. And then everything is just the idea is they see showcase, and if they want to dig deeper, they can kind of go through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to, but you could just go to my website. It's just it's braytondickey.com, and all I have is actually just I have like the showcase tab, and then I have just a YouTube content. Um,
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's very pared down, and
Dude,
that's more
cool.
just like if it was interesting to them to have that I have like more of the educational content stuff as well.
Yeah.
But that's why it's on a separate tab.
Dude, that's yeah, this is cool. So, okay, so your showcase stuff, you can tell like from I don't know if it's in a specific order. It
It's not. It's
no?
more just
Okay.
like it kind of like what I think people would want to see more at the top, and then working your way towards the bottom.
Dude, cool. Yeah, cuz I recognize these three uh your
Yeah.
top 3 ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got your materials in here as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at this one earlier, the like on my break at
Oh
lunch
yeah,
today.
that was really fun.
Yeah, it's crazy. I need to kind of dive into this to really understand like what the hell's happening, uh, because I haven't even like attempted to figure out how you even utilize this stuff. But it looks
Mm-hmm.
really powerful, and some of the stuff you're seeing on ArtStation is just getting kind of crazy with it.
Yeah, it's definitely nuts.
But yeah, let's. I guess if you're looking into environments, we should focus on the three here
Sure.
because I think like when we look at the this outpost, this desert outpost, um, I think what I see here is so you've got an understanding of materials, and I
Mm-hmm.
think where you're lacking right now is probably in the modeling aspect of things. Like stuff is quite low when it could be you could add more geometry to help sell the surfaces.
Okay.
Um, and I think it's honestly I think it's that maybe there's some technical stuff that oops I just backed out of that. There's some technical stuff that I'll see where I'm like, oh, like we should figure out how to fix that problem. Like there's things that you see and you're like, okay, we should fix it. Like the glass on the dome over here. It feels like it's sorting differently from the atmosphere, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's I think it just comes down to just the logic of the props, the fidelity of the assets themselves, and then figuring out how to like push your surfaces further.
For sure. Okay.
Like for example, the I don't know. Are you watching the stream?
I am watching the
Okay,
stream. Yeah.
so the very bottom image, um, actually looks. I think it is actually untextured, right? Some stuff is untextured in
Yes,
here.
that's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Is it?
I know.
Is there a reason behind that? Is it just like you're like, okay, I'm done, and just post it?
It's just a time thing. So it's one of those things where it is something I still want to get to, and like I know it's not finished, and I don't want to leave it unfinished.
Hmm.
But for the time being, with my like time constraints and stuff like that, I feel like it's better to have it up there than nothing at all. I
Right.
know a lot of people will talk about like making sure only your best work is up there, but I don't know if I always agree with that. I think that as long as there are merits to some of the work that's up there, that you can at least hopefully have a conversation about it. And
Right.
because I think ultimately, from my standpoint, from my point of view, when you're getting hired for a job, obviously they just want to know that you can do the job they have.
Right.
And so if you can at least get in conversation with them and they can figure out that side of things, and like kind of figure out what you already know, what can you bring to the job, and where are they going to need to kind of pick up the slack a little bit to get you up to speed with what they need.
Right. Okay.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this in the best way.
mhm.
So the second image, let's see if I can just do like, I'm gonna move some stuff around here on the desk so I can actually move the tablet forward here. It does not make it easy when you have like so much stuff on your
Oh, I know.
desk. Oh, and I
I
didn't
like tuck
even.
my tablet away on top of my tower when I'm not using it because it gets in the way.
Yeah. See, I don't even have the. There it is. I need the button that helps me switch the screen so I don't have to worry about. Let's do customize real quick here. Oh, Madu's going crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear him. Switch monitor. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm just gonna like print screen on this. You guys can
Yeah.
you see me drawing a box on top of this and whatnot? Like color selector and
Yeah, I can see
okay.
that. Yeah.
It's probably a little bit of a delay. What color is
Not
gonna
too
show up
bad.
the best? So, oh, you know what? Green will. It's a happy color. Tells everyone everything. Yeah. So what I'm seeing right now in this specific image is basically like you've taken the you know what you're building scene wise. You have
Mhm.
like the base level assets, and base level assets I would say are like the primary structural elements. So that'd be like the dome, this
Mhm.
dome piece here, and then the structural elements for the building stuff, and then like all of the like primary propping you're using, the really big stuff like
Yeah.
the like freeway in the back, the rock formations in the back. What you're missing, I think, or not necessarily missing, it's like the next stage is pushing the in between elements. So you could consider these structural elements to kind of set up
Mhm.
your shot and your framing, and then everything else is like the medium to small stuff. So like where your grass is, figuring out a transition for like how to transition away from the grass and to the dirt, adding like the little tiny rocks and like medium sized rocks around edges. It helps connect everything, ground stuff, and kind of it hides a lot of the unnatural shapes that
Right.
you usually see in 3D. So
Mhm.
it's yeah,
Okay.
so it's just a bunch of small things. Of course, in the geometry, I was talking about like the here. I'll use a red for the or yellow. We'll use yellow for the geo. So like the hard edges, I'll just mark out edges that look really sharp.
Mhm.
So all of these details, like this top thing, looks really thin. Um, it looks like there's basically a primitives extrusion and like
Mhm.
some slight amounts of detail being added, but not anything that's like really defining design wise. It's more like, okay, I know that you made cuts here, you inset those and then extruded them out is kind of the extent of the detail.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
so it's those like three things. I guess the only other thing I would pay attention to is when you have these giant rock formations. This is where I would either use scans or just get really good at terrain and rock sculpting, because you need to
Uh-huh.
understand like which way, um, like the layering of rock. If everything is going this direction, you would want everything to just kind of like happen that way in the
Yeah.
rock
Follow a
formations.
flow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you can see the striations in the rock surfaces themselves.
Right. Okay.
Um, yeah, and I'm not sure like how much reference you were pulling from this.
That was a hard one for this one. So actually,
Mm,
really mostly, I that main like central building that you're looking at there, the white tall building,
yeah.
in the very center, is really the only. It's kind of cobbled together from a bunch of concepts. So I know that this project specifically kind of suffered from me jumping in. Like I made that and then just wanted to make an environment, and I kind of figured out what I wanted as I went,
Right.
rather than having a strong, cohesive, singular concept, which obviously would be easier to make decisions and stuff from.
Mm. Yeah, I guess leading the eye, because if that's the focal point, you could almost put it like framing wise. If you put it here
Uh
and
huh.
it was closer, so it ended up being maybe like this big. Now it's not competing with the dome, and then you have
Okay.
there's the little garage door thing here, right? So like
Hmm.
taking that right now, you don't see a path. You always want to like lead the person somewhere,
Hmm.
lead the viewer. So like at least in the position we have here, if you can lead someone with like tracks and just show the action of like how the space is being used. Right now it feels like you're very walled off. So like you don't get
Okay.
to go beyond this point. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're
That does
like,
make.
okay, where am I? Am I in like I'm behind a fence, and then there's these like barrier looking things. I'm not sure if they're barriers, and then I think those are solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing to do is like show assets in the angle that when it comes to this propping, in the angle that you would understand them almost
Mm-hmm.
immediately. I guess there's a tipped over solar panel here or something.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of opening up the space and using the fencing that you have here, you could use it to fence off other areas in the back that are maybe they're protecting things, or like the fencing can help you extend the building without going too crazy.
Okay.
I'll post this in your chat as well. But yeah, while I was doing that screenshot, my entire screen was frozen minus the little frame, so I didn't see the clock or any of the chat. So if you guys have any feedback in chat, sorry I didn't loop it in here. But yeah, I think we can look at the. I was gonna say also the materials, like getting interaction between all of your surfaces,
Mm-hmm.
and even those medium, like this is a medium sized prop. These like barrier things as well. You could make like a medium sized like sand, like dune-ish like material or mesh, and you can put
Uh,
it next to buildings, and it'll help ground and sink them in a bit.
yeah. Okay.
That'll
Makes
help
sense.
like kill these straight lines really quickly.
Right.
It's like the
Okay.
same as grass, but
Mm-hmm. So kind of
yeah,
like where the wind is blowing sand up against then it kind of pulls
yeah. If
up
you can,
against
I mean,
the.
if you can paint that picture in the viewer's mind, it's like one side of the building, like you can just like build up a mesh that kind of goes up the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're doing like vertex painting on the building as well to like blend the where the edge of that skirt, like we would call them like sand or dirt skirts that you put
Okay.
around objects.
Yeah.
Or you can do like a depth fade or something to just help soften the edge where
Sure.
it collides in with the asset.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
think I was messing with some
hmm.
depth offset stuff when Unreal 5 came out. It kind of broke it a little bit, so
Oh
was
yeah, yes.
I was running into some technical issues. So
There's a lot of things that aren't working right now in UE5, but I'm
maybe
assuming they'll smooth it out.
hopefully.
They kind of have to, I guess. Do you want to run through the bunker test? Dancing in the panic room. That's great.
Like you want me to describe it or anything, or what? What
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
mean?
Just like
Yeah.
what your ideas and goals were, and just kind of where you're at with it and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
So pretty consistent feedback I had gotten on some of the other two environments I've really kind of tried to flesh out was really scaling and trying to make sure that it made sense the space was being used well for human scale. And so I really forced myself to kind of do an interior scene that like would be like a very like everyday environment, so that it was more obvious, I guess, how to
Hmm.
fill up that space. But once I had kind of hit a threshold, I was kind of like, well, I think I'm doing an okay job of approaching that goal, but like there's no real storytelling happening here.
Mm.
And so I ended up kind of had a friend of mine that recommended like a bunker. I don't know exactly how that conversation came about, but the end result was that doing kind of like either like a Fallout bunker inspired kind of thing where they had the shelters and they were doing like those weird like scientific testing in some of them,
Yeah.
and then like the Nuketown maps in Call of Duty were kind of some inspirations for like that like Cold War era, like
Yeah.
50s, 60s, mid-century modern house setup.
Yeah.
So
You see it in the
decided to do something
mannequins.
fun here. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
This is really cool, and I can tell the like here is where your understanding of the types of like I can see the materials that you build now, like
mhm.
with like I guess it's with your daily job, because I can
Yes.
see like oh yeah, like if we needed to sell this TV stand, like like those materials, they're selling it, right? And
Mm.
I think where again I think where it's breaking down, and I think I mentioned it on the um was it on the
Probably
Discord
on like a
critiques.
Discord group. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just like the like beveling stuff or just trying to break hard edges from being
Yep.
too sharp. Even if they're like sharp, they could if they have a bevel on them, they have that like highlight that you're like you'll see in real life
Yep.
even if it's really sharp. Um, yeah, it's just that and like the logics of like the happy birthday sign, which is awesome. I didn't even think about adding mannequins in here, and once you showed with the mannequins and stuff, I was like, dude, this is amazing. It's exactly like how you expect this type of location. Because then I was like, oh yeah, this is totally like a test scenario. This place is gonna get freaking melted here. But yeah, so scale the characters was one of the things. I would really try to like. So first, the scale of characters. I wanted to jump to materials, but yeah. So scale the characters would be really good if there was at least. I don't know if this one's an adult, but getting that adult next to the fridge and then just trying to like match the. Like I guess you could even use the mannequin from Unreal to try and get the scale.
Sure. Yeah.
And then that'd be pretty good because yeah, everyone looks quite young, and maybe they are supposed to be young. It just it tricks the mind into going like, okay, wait, are they all young or is it supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
The other thing too is so I was talking about the textures just now. If you had like a basic material, it's on my phone. If you had a basic material, that you could swap the like a constant color, you just had a roughness value and like if it's metal or not, that would do wonders instead of like just the gray material here. So like for example, the cake, you could apply like 3 or 4 materials on here, and even if there's no textures, as long as the colors are exposed,
the colors are right.
Yeah, and the roughness is kind of close, and it's either metal or not, it'll sell much better than just like the gray kind of checker material. Are these those like drinking plastic cups?
Yeah, they're meant to be like a red Solo cup kind of thing.
Yeah, the red Solo cup. Yeah, dude, I have not seen those in forever. I think it's been 5 years. They look a little big by comparison of like the character, and maybe if the character is closer in scale,
okay,
maybe it'd be fine.
Okay,
but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the scale or if it's a combination of the two.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the happy birthday sign, just like getting it connected on things. You have like an opportunity for this string or wire to be floating in space instead of just against the wall. So like connecting it to this point and then bringing it over here, it'll allow you to get like balloons in front of it or behind it, and then there's just a lot more parallax when it comes to that.
Right. Okay. Do you think
element.
if I scaled it up to fit that wall, do you think that would be too big, or do you think I should just go back into the mesh and extend the string part specifically?
Yeah, so what I would do is extend the string and then place the letters to like match the scale instead, because if you just scale it up, then the letters will get like strangely large.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this scene. It just needs those like final things. Like if you still have the project, I would go in and just get like I don't know, you could take the material of the floor, put it on the rug, and just tint the color differently, and that would work. And everything that's untextured, just get like that basic material on it. And if you repost those images, it'll just be, I don't know, it'll be much stronger, I think, for it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of the people in chat as well totally agree that like need to get things like materialed and finished and stuff like that too.
Ollie says he drank from one of these just the other day. Let me close my door real quick. Madhu, the dog just came in here and then he left. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see if we can't keep going here. We've got a few more minutes.
I think with the few minutes remaining, I think I've got a good few things to tackle for the environment stuff. If there is anything you can say about the material stuff, I guess that probably could be cool.
Yeah, so you're curious on materials?
Just the way that they're being presented and stuff like that. I think I have the knowledge for that stuff. But like if my presentation of them is good, is coming across well, or if people are seeing the usability of them.
Right. Yeah. See, when I look at the materials on the spheres here, the materials look pretty good. Like they have some variation in them. There's surface detail. There's differences in the roughness, but when you see it in the scene, they don't really come off like they're popping like that. I guess let me see here. Like when I scroll up this shot, you can see it quite a bit here. So I think it's more about how the materials are interacting with the environment. So like if you apply just the metal material on here, I can tell it looks like there's some type of a roughness pass that was done on here. So like thinking about roughness, where the dirt would collect or dust would collect, any type of interaction with the surface on a roughness side of things is really, I think, where PBR shines these days.
Sure.
It's like you can have a really flat, simple wall, but with a really good roughness pass, it's real as all hell. The other thing I think when I'm looking at stuff, I'm noticing there's just a lot of scale stuff where I don't know. It's like things are like 60% there when like you have the buttons and stuff here, but on the cables, like where they meet, it doesn't feel like they're connecting to anything. There's like I think when it comes to materials, a warnings label pass, or like you have the 02 on here. Think about all the stuff that would have to be on these for people to be walking around in here and all that type of stuff. So like it can be steps with the warning strip on it that just lets you know that you'll trip and fall and die here if you if you go too far. And yeah, I think thinking about what the surface is and why it is what it is will help a lot. Like this looks like it's metal and then it was painted. And then it's got like that kind of dust age on it, and then the edges have been chipped away. The paint's been chipped away, revealing the metal. How are these constructed? Like you could do decals for little rivets, or where screw points are, or panels. Just explaining on the surface through materials how things are put together.
Okay.
That'll go a long way. Like it just seems to explain, like it makes you think there's more inside of it, even if there isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, and just being able to explain what stuff is at like first glance. Like I don't know why this is inset, but maybe there's supposed to be something there that I don't know about.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. This whole environment was pulled more from one cohesive concept. So I do like it better to work from. I think my game plan then, just after this conversation, is probably to nix the desert one for now. Take that off just so it's not distracting, and then I think I have some. I think the easier to tackle feedback will be on this and the other environment, just to kind of be able to wrap them up and have them be more presentable.
But yeah, it's cool. This is journey stuff, dude. It's crazy. Do you have any other questions before I jump out of here? I mean, if you have more, you can always just message me as well. If you're like on the spot and you're like, I don't.
No, I don't think so. I think it's really just a matter of it's this like disconnect between, personally, I think I have the skills to be able to tackle, and like also I'm kind of like chomping at the bit to like get in a position where I can be around other really talented people and learn a lot much faster than just doing stuff on my own. So it's this disconnect of like, I just want to get in there and like start learning stuff, but I also understand that you don't get those jobs until you can prove to the hiring manager or whoever that you have enough knowledge to be able to do the job. And so I know that I have it, but if I'm not proving that point, then it doesn't really matter.
Right. Yeah. It's whatever's online, right?
Yep, for sure. But no, yeah, I really appreciate all the feedback and information, you and everyone in chat as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
No problem, man. What is it? Mid July, I'll be in Seattle.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe I'll bug you.
Cool. But, let's do it.
All right. I'll talk to you later then. We'll just switch to
the
other thing here. Yeah. Thanks for posting your portfolio.
You bet. Thank you so much.
Talk to you later. Bye. Cozy.